a slip in your palm and a hole in your chest. Black coffee on the felt, man, you look like a mess. 3-team parlay turned to dust in your hand. Now you stare at the chips like they made you this man. But don't you go quiet, don't you fade from the floor. Your name still means something to somebody for sure. Put the glass down, baby. Look at me now. Hold on, not tonight, not now. Hold on, let me pull you out. That fella bites hard, but it don't get the crown. Hold on, stay with me now.
What's up, everybody? I don't know why I was still muted, dude. It's Toad back with you with Toadstool Sports. It is Wednesday, May 27th. 2-1 on the show yesterday. I'm kind of pissed about it because I think all of my baseball leans were pretty much correct yesterday. The Yankees run line would have been an easy win. If you money lined them, obviously that won. Texas Rangers, that was a win. So like all these leans that I have were winning. What was the other one I had? I don't know. I know I liked the over in the Dodgers game to some degree. That was a winner as well. There might have been one in there that wasn't correct, but I don't know. A lot of my leans were right. And, of course, I had to have one of my plays be incorrect. Braves, Red Sox, under. Not a winner. Yeah, just bad. And, of course, to make matters worse, the Red Sox lose the game as well by 1, which I wasn't surprised they lost the game, but I thought it was going to be a much lower scoring game. We did get the under correct with St. Louis and Milwaukee. I think there was one 6-run inning for Milwaukee, and that was the only scoring in the game. Like if you go into that game, you tell me there's only going to be one half of an inning where any runs get scored, I'd be like, yeah, the under is obviously winning. And it did, but it was a 6-run inning. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to go back and look. I think Milwaukee had a 6-run inning, but then there were no other runs scored. So I'll take it. And then easy win with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Team total over. They also covered. The game also went over. My read on that game was correct in every single way. I think it was the right approach. I think the easiest winner was that Oklahoma City team total. They got way over it. They scored in the 120s or something. Both teams shot better, though, so both teams scored a lot of points. But Oklahoma City also did cover, so if you had the spread, that was also a winner, which I agreed with. All right, today, I don't know, man. I'm going to be switching back and forth between a lot of tabs here, probably. Just these sites do not have the percentage information anymore. I don't even know if it's ever coming back, so I don't know what to do. I found another site that has some. I don't know where their data is coming from, but it's not like a grid layout, so it's like way harder to read, but you're looking at like an individual game, like game by game pretty much. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it, but I'm going to only have 2 plays here today. I'm going to have 1 baseball play, and I'm going to go back to the WNBA. Let's keep the WNBA record going, man. Hopefully we can get another WNBA win here. Dirty Sock, Josh, Kyle, what's up? Yes, I was muted. I'm mute now. I don't talk anymore. The player problem, McCain, did he go over? I was talking about his point total. Yeah, I mean, that might have won. I have no idea. Probably. If Oklahoma City scored that many points and if those other guys didn't play, then I would assume he went over his point total. All right. We'll get into today, baseball. There's a lot of afternoon baseball because it is Wednesday. It's getaway day. So a lot of series are finishing here. A few of them are continuing into tomorrow, which are Anaheim, Detroit, Minnesota, White Sox, Atlanta, and Boston. Actually, I think every game that's being played tomorrow is a continuation of today's series, I think. I don't know. Or no, Toronto and the Orioles is a new series tomorrow. I think everything else is a continuation. All right. McCain hit 20. I don't play this alt shit. I do not do that. I just take, if his point total was 15, that probably makes sense as far as what the line was. Miami at Toronto on ESPN Unlimited is the first game up. Like I said, Toronto is playing Baltimore tomorrow. It is a divisional series. I don't know if that's really a look ahead or not, though. And Miami, I think, might be playing the Mets, I want to say. These teams have both split this series anyway, so I don't think anybody's going to be looking ahead, really. Yeah, Miami does play the Mets. I remember things. Hey, Toronto won the game 8-1 yesterday. My read on this game, though, just looking at the pitching matchup, is that, I kind of like this pitching matchup in today's game. Miami used one relief pitcher yesterday. Toronto used 4, so Miami does have a bullpen advantage. They have the number 4 bullpen in WHIP. Toronto not bad at 10th, but Miami's is more rested, like I just said. Miami's offense has fallen way off. They're at 19th, but Toronto is 25th, so we do have 2 offenses that are not doing a ton here. Yuri Perez is pitching from Miami. His numbers are just kind of mediocre. 4.91 ERA, 1.3 WHIP. He's way worse on the road, and that is kind of my problem here. I'm leaning towards him pitching well, but I don't know if I really want to bank on that with a 7.03 road ERA. He pitched well in his last outing. It was against the Mets, though. Not a good offense, but that kind of tells you he's kind of returning to form, in my opinion. He didn't walk anybody in that start either. He was really good in that outing. Overall, the walks are his main problem. He has a high strikeout rate. His hit rate is low, but he's allowed a lot of home runs, which isn't great. And then his walk rate is too high, and that is his main issue. Against Toronto, they only have 21 at-bats against him, and they are 0 for 21 off of him with 7 strikeouts and no walks. So Toronto literally does not have a hitter in their active lineup who has reached base against Perez, and they've had 21 at-bats against him. So he looks like he does have a good matchup here, and he is going up against Kevin Gausman, who is probably Toronto's best pitcher. 3.23 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. Gausman, really good over his last 2 outings. This month, he's been good, other than he got rocked in one outing against Tampa Bay, and that was a second start in a row against Tampa Bay, so maybe Tampa Bay just figured something out the first time and then hit him better the next time. He still has a 21-2 strikeout walk ratio this month, which is really good. Numbers over the season are pretty similar to that. His strikeout rate is not that high, but it's pretty decent. His walk rate's low. His hit rate is low. He's good. His numbers against Miami, also good. In 24 at-bats, 11 strikeouts, 1 walk, 167 average, 575 OPS. I would go under in this game. I don't know how I want to look at these market percentages here. I guess I can go back to this screen here on whatever the fuck player props is. We have Toronto's about a minus 150 something favorite, it looks like here. 81% of the tickets, according to this site, 66% of the cash on Toronto. So the money looks like it's sort of indicating towards Miami on the side. I don't really disagree. Miami has the bullpen edge at least, but I think Gausman may have a little bit of a matchup edge just because I don't like Perez on the road. But my favorite way of playing this would be under first 5 innings. And as you can see, the under looks like it is getting the money. 71% of tickets, 91% of the cash on the under. Oh, no, wait, sorry. I'm looking at the spread. Sorry. Over has 72% of tickets and only 63% of the cash. That makes more sense. Over usually attracts more of the public. The total's 7.5, though, so it's low for a reason. I like under in this game. I might limit it to the first 5, though. Although I still like this, Wager Talk view better, though, just so I can kind of see the grid here and see the layout and see what all the different books have for a number. So, Toronto's around minus 150, 7.5 is the total there. But yeah, I think probably under first 5. I don't know if I trust Toronto's bullpen given their lack of rest and whatever. I think under first 5 is what I like in that one. That one almost made my card. I think if I was going to add another game, it would probably be that one. But I don't quite want to do it with Perez not good on the road. Washington at Cleveland. Washington is on the verge of a sweep. Never would have thought that. Is Washington going to get the sweep against Cleveland? I don't know about that. Washington's not a good team. They did win yesterday 6-3. Washington, who do they play next? I don't even know. They play San Diego, so that is possibly a look ahead because San Diego is playing some pretty good baseball, at least record-wise. Washington's bullpen is very untrustworthy, although they only used Mitchell Parker in long relief yesterday and didn't use anybody else, so their bullpen is rested. Cleveland used 4 relief pitchers. Cleveland has a better bullpen, but they're less rested here. They're ranked 11th in bullpen, Washington 24th, but the rest kind of evens the bullpens out a little bit, although Cleveland's is still the better bullpen. Cleveland is ranked 20th in hitting, Washington 4th. Washington, I mean, looking at this pitching matchup on the surface, it looks like Washington is not going to be able to win this game. Miles Mikolas is pitching for Washington. He sucks. 6.17 ERA, 1.39 whip. His numbers are actually getting a little bit better, though. And he's been serviceable on the road, 4.81 road ERA. So he's been significantly better on the road. He actually threw a 5-inning shutout against Atlanta last time out, so you got to give him credit for that. Was that, a flash in the pan, or is he starting to pitch better? I don't know. He was not horrible in the previous game against Baltimore. So I guess it is possible he's pitching a little bit better as of late. He's allowed fewer than 1 hit per inning this month. Way below 1 strikeout per inning, but a low walk rate too, 12-3 ratio there. Over the course of the season, low strikeout rate, so he doesn't fool guys. He is allowing more than 1 hit per inning. He's allowed a lot of home runs, 11, but his walk rate kind of high as well. I still don't think I fully trust him, but this matchup may not be the worst for him. In 57 at-bats against Cleveland, he's held him to a 246 average, 791 OPS, 11-6 strikeout walk ratio. Gavin Williams, though, he's pitching well for Cleveland, dude. 3.25 ERA, 1.11 whip. He's coming off an 8-inning shutout against Philly with 11 strikeouts. Still clocked in at under 100 pitches in that one. He's pitching well. He's had 2 really good starts in a row here. Maybe he continues pitching well. It looks like he is in good form right now. Don't know if there's going to be any sort of letdown here. Against Washington, they've never even seen him before, so he has that extra edge facing a lineup it's never faced him before. A lot of times that lineup has to figure him out, and it takes a little while. So Williams might have the upper hand here. I mean, just generally, he's obviously the better pitcher. He has a really high strikeout rate this season, by the way. A low hit rate, and his walk rate is not good, but it's more tolerable given how many strikeouts he has and given how few hits he allows. So I think I like Cleveland here to avoid the sweep. Plus, you get Williams over Mikolas. I don't like that Cleveland's bullpen is a little bit less rested, but Cleveland is a pretty big favorite here. Where are we at here? Minus 180 something here, around minus 180. If we look at this other site, the money's coming in on Washington for some reason. We have 67% of the tickets on Cleveland, but only 30% of the money. That's on the money line, though. On the spread, it looks like there is a lot of the higher percentage is on Cleveland on the spread. 67% of tickets, 88% of the cash. So that's when you're looking at the market reads on baseball. Usually I just have that 1% number, which is the money line, I think. But this view is the one good thing about this view is you can kind of eyeball it pretty easily. The spread versus the money line here. I like Cleveland here, though, and I would do a split bet probably, make your own -1 run line. Put some of it on the money line, some of it on the run line, unless maybe the run line's at a price where maybe you could just lay the run line, but I don't know if I really want to do that with Cleveland, because they play a lot of lower scoring games at home, although Washington tends to get themselves in a lot of higher scoring games, but a lot of it is when they're at home. Yeah, actually, I think if you go Cleveland here, I think it's just straight. You just go run line on it. It's at right about plus 110 or so. Some of the books have a little bit better price on it than that, but you're almost making a spread play out of it. So I think, yeah, Cleveland, you just go run line on it probably. Even though I know you're not supposed to go run line with the home team because they might not bat in the ninth inning, but I think that is the way I would play that. I like Cleveland, but I also don't really love it necessarily because the total is also low in that game. It's at 7.5, so I don't know. Or actually, some of the books have 8 on that one, but whatever. All right, St. Louis and Milwaukee. I don't know, man. I got to find a faster way to get through all this crap. This game is not going to take as long to handicap because we don't know who Milwaukee's starter is going to be. Milwaukee is on the verge of a sweep here, so they might overlook St. Louis, as I always talk about. The team that's on the verge of getting swept tends to have more motivation to try to avoid the sweep, although Milwaukee is definitely the better team here, and I think they're proving that that's the case. We did get the under right in that game yesterday, so that was a win. Milwaukee has Houston next. I don't know if they're going to be looking ahead or not. A lot of teams are off tomorrow, so it's going to be a quicker show tomorrow at least. Milwaukee has the better of these bullpens. They use 3 guys out of the bullpen, including their closer, McGill, but they hadn't used him in a while. St. Louis used 3 relief pitchers. They had not used anybody for days, which is part of why I left that as a full game play yesterday. As far as the bullpens, Milwaukee is the better bullpen. They're number 13. St. Louis is 23. Milwaukee's offense has been doing better as well, and St. Louis's has been doing worse. They've actually flipped spots here. Milwaukee is 14th in hitting, St. Louis 15th. Dustin May is the listed starter for St. Louis, and we don't know who's starting for Milwaukee. May is starting to pitch poorly again. He's got a 5 ERA in the season, 1.43 whip. Not as good on the road either, 5.23 road ERA. His last outing wasn't great against Pittsburgh. Gave up 4 earned runs, but he did still have 7 strikeouts, so that's not that bad. The outing before that, he had more walks than strikeouts against Kansas City, so that's not really a good sign either. 20-10 strikeout walk ratio on this month is not exactly good. It's too many walks, although he hasn't allowed that many hits either. Over the course of the season, just kind of mediocre, I would say. Low strikeout rate, which isn't great. A high hit rate. The walk rate is fine-ish. May's not that good. Milwaukee really hasn't seen him, though, somehow. Even though May is pretty much a veteran at this point. He's been mostly in the National League. Milwaukee only has 1 batter, Rengifo, who's ever faced him before. And he is 2 for 4 with a couple of singles. So I don't know what to do with this game, dude. You can go back. You could, I try to figure out, when it's an unlisted starter, I try to figure out what that team is actually going to be doing. So if you go back 5 games prior, that is usually an indicator. So it was Logan Henderson was the starter for Milwaukee in that game. And then it looks like they used Chad Patrick for a lot of innings in that game as well. Henderson got a full starter's workload there. So to me, it looks like it will be Henderson in this game. I guess he's injured. I guess that's why they haven't listed a starter yet. It is Henderson's turn to pitch. And if he's pitching, I do not want to fade Milwaukee if Henderson is pitching, but he has back tightness, so I don't know, man. I don't know if he's going to pitch or not. Henderson's been good, though. And St. Louis has never faced him before, so I definitely don't want to fade that if Henderson does make the start. If he doesn't, I don't know if Milwaukee's going to call somebody up or go with a bullpen game. It's a difficult game to handicap, though. Let me see. Milwaukee is probably going to be a favorite, though, regardless of what they're doing here. Let me see. No. There it is. I can't look for May because we're in the month of May. Milwaukee's around minus 145, even though we don't even know who's starting for them. Total 8.5. I don't know what to do with this game, though. It looks like St. St. is getting the money for what that's worth. 77% of tickets, 50% of the cash on Milwaukee on the money line. So the money's coming in towards St. Louis there to avoid the sweep, but I don't think I even trust May anyway, so I don't want to do it. Seattle at the A's. The A's are trying to avoid a sweep here. Seattle's been good in this series. Seattle is the better team, as I said, even though the record is worse. They're only a half game behind the A's now, though that should motivate the A's here. Both teams really should be still motivated here, even though I know Seattle's on the verge of a sweep. maybe the extra motivation is with the A's, but this is a divisional matchup. If Seattle wins this game, they take first place back in the division, so it is still a big game for Seattle here. I don't really think they're going to be looking ahead to Arizona next, so I think both teams may still be motivated here. This is not, like I said, usually I like to look for the team to avoid the sweep, but this is not like every one of those series because this is a hotly contested divisional series. Seattle used 3 relief pitchers yesterday. They do have the better bullpen. A's used 3 relief pitchers as well. Seattle is ranked 17th, but their bullpen ERA is a lot better than that, so I think their bullpen is better than it seems. The A's are 20th, but I think there's a bigger gap between the bullpens than that makes it sound like. A's are 9th in offense. Seattle is 18th. So, yeah, the A's do have the better offense. Logan Gilbert is pitching for Seattle. He's been pretty good. 4.04 ERA, 1.11 whip. Somehow, I keep mentioning this because Seattle's a pitcher-friendly park. Usually their pitchers all do better at home. Gilbert's been way better on the road. 1.19 road ERA. So he's in the better of his own road splits at least. He's had 2 shutouts in his last 3 outings. And his bad outing was somehow at home against San Diego. I can't make sense of it, but his last 2 outings on the road were both shutouts. He went 6 innings and 5 2/3 innings. Those were against the White Sox and Kansas City. This is the A's stadium, though, dude. The A's, their stadium is a different animal. It's very hitter-friendly. It's stupid. It's a AAA stadium. Gilbert generally has pitched really well against them, though. He has 108 at-bats against them, 185 average allowed, 587 OPS, 48-7 strikeout walk ratio. So Gilbert is good on the road usually. He's got good numbers against the A's. He actually kind of struggled against the A's at home earlier this year. He went 4 innings in that one. He gave up 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. So that worries me a little bit. Season numbers, his strikeout rate is good. It's over 1 per inning. Pretty low walk rate, pretty low hit rate. So his numbers overall are good, except he's allowed too many home runs, and that's the other problem. He's an extreme fly ball pitcher. So I don't like that. And I believe he faced the A's twice last year, but both times were in Seattle. So he's never pitched in this stadium before, I don't believe, because the A's have only played in the stadium 1 season before this season. So I don't think I could trust Gilbert here, man, in this particular stadium. He gives up too many home runs. He's too much of a fly ball pitcher. The matchup looks like it might be good for him, but I can't do it. He'll be going up against Jeffrey Springs for the A's. Springs is okay. He's got a 4.11 ERA, 1.17 whip. He is worse at home, which makes sense because it's a bad stadium to pitch in. 4.6 home ERA. Wasn't great in his last outing against San Diego, and that was on the road in a pitcher-friendly San Diego environment. He gave up 4 runs, 3 home runs. That's not great. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He only gave up 3 hits, 3s everywhere. Over the course of the season, his numbers are pretty good, though. I mean, his strikeout rate is low. That's just not really what he does. Low walk rate, though. Low hit rate, but his problem is home runs. He allows a lot of home runs. 11 of them. He's an extreme fly ball pitcher. That kind of explains why he's worse at home. That is not the style of pitching you want in this stadium. So I got concerns here, man. His numbers against Seattle are generally good. 71 at-bats, 197 average, 658 OPS, 17-5 strikeout walk ratio. So he does generally pitch well against the A's. Against Seattle. He has not faced them this year yet. Yeah, this is a game, I don't even know what I want to do with this game, man. The money is slightly coming in towards the under here. 58% of tickets, 65% of the cash on the under. I kind of lean over a little bit here, but I don't really want to go against the matchup numbers, though. Both pitchers do have good matchup numbers. But this, I don't know. This looks like a bad stadium for both starting pitchers, though. So I don't know. I have a lot of concerns about it. And as far as the side, the money is coming in towards the A's to avoid the sweep here. Seattle's a small favorite, around minus 130 or so. 72% of tickets, 69% of the cash on Seattle. So do with that info what you want. I'm not going to play the game, obviously. The total's at 9. I should have mentioned that. So it is a kind of low, or it's a lower total for an A's game at home. So the odds makers are kind of expecting the pitching to be okay here. Garrett, what's up, man? I do not recommend home run props at all. The books know that everybody loves to play home run props. Everybody loves to bet hitters to hit home runs. The odds, look at the odds that you played on that. The odds are absolutely fucking you. Like even the best home run hitter in baseball is only going to hit a home run like every 10, 11 at bats, maybe even less likely than that, because we're not in the steroid era anymore. And those odds are basically telling you that the dude's going to have to hit a home run in one game. How many at bats is he going to get in one game? Like 4, maybe, depending on how high up in the lineup he is. No, like the odds should be way, way higher than that. For him to hit a home run. I never recommend home run props ever. That's like it's the worst thing that you can do in baseball. It's a complete sucker bet. I do not recommend that. Yes, your under was correct. I did notice that. That was a good call. I had no feel for the total in that game. I don't like playing unders though, because you got to avoid empty nets. Like so many of those unders die with the empty nets, man. All right, we have Arizona and San Francisco here. But what I will say is both of those teams, they're playing some good defense, man. And I got the Knights right in my bracket at least, so there is that. So my bracket's in the 97th percentile right now. But if Carolina wins the Cup, I'm going to fall back down in the standings because I'm going to fall back down. I'm not going to get back up again. That's some rancid. People listen to punk music. What was I about to say? I don't know. But no, if the Knights win the championship, I think my bracket might stay up kind of fairly high up there. So I don't know. We'll see. Home run bets, I completely disagree with playing them. Home run bets are basically like playing roulette. Like I'm not going to do it ever. Unless I want to do it for the entertainment value of it and just put like pizza money on it or something. Dirty sock, yes. I know it sucks. Welcome to my world with all the fucking Boston teams. Of course, people fall for it. They fall for the, all the parlays. They like that plus money, man. They like to bet a little to win a lot, but what they don't realize is that the odds should be even greater than that. They should be getting a higher payout given what the actual odds are for that thing to happen. Although I'm guessing that Garrett probably at least did his homework, and Olsen must have had good numbers against the starter he was up against yesterday, I hope. All right, we have where's Olsen even playing? Is he still on Atlanta? I don't even fucking know, dude. Does he have good numbers against Suarez? I have no idea. But also fuck you additionally for that, for going with a prop against the Red Sox. All right, Arizona at San Francisco. San Francisco is trying to avoid a sweep here, so they might have a little bit of extra attention played to this. These teams are not playing tomorrow. As I already just said, Arizona does play Seattle next. I don't know if that's going to be a look ahead or not, but the San Francisco team, they're not that good, man. Really, it's their hitting that really blows. San Francisco used 3 relief pitchers yesterday. Arizona used 3 as well, but Arizona's bullpen is doing better. I still don't like that their ERA is in the 4s, but they're ranked 3rd in bullpen whip. I would put them, I think probably they're somewhere around between 10th and 15th. Now I would say the Giants are probably a little bit better than they appear at 16th in bullpen whip. Their ERA is better than that, so I still think the Giants are the slightly better bullpen. But it's not by that much. Arizona is clearly the better offense. They're ranked 7th right now. The Giants 25th. We're in a pitcher-friendly ballpark here. Michael Soroka is pitching for the D-backs. He's pitching pretty well. 3.27 ERA, 1.25 whip. He's been really bad on the road, though. 6.1 road ERA. I can't figure this guy out, man, because Arizona's a hitter-friendly ballpark, but he's really good there, and he's bad on the road. And this is a pitcher-friendly park here. Maybe he'll do better here. He hasn't pitched in this stadium yet this season. He's pitching well this month. He's got a 21-5 strikeout walk ratio, lower than 1 hit per inning, 1.48 ERA. He's got over 1 strikeout per inning on the season, exactly 1 hit allowed per inning is whatever. A low walk rate, doesn't allow a lot of home runs either for what that's worth. Yeah, I mean, Soroka, it looks like he's kind of coming back into form here. Numbers against the Giants are mediocre, but they only have 4 hitters who have ever faced him. 26 at-bats, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, 269 average allowed, 706 OPS. My gauge would be that he should actually pitch well here, but I do worry that he sucks on the road, so I worry about that. Trevor McDonald is pitching for the Giants. He's on my shit list right now because we had an under in his last game, and that did not happen. He's got a 4.76 ERA now, but his 1.01 whip is still good. He's been bad at home, though. 6.75 home ERA, but that's because he had 1 bad start at home in that game against the White Sox where, dude, we were moving along nicely. We're in the 4th inning, scoreless game, and then McDonald gets absolutely lit up, and the White Sox get 9 runs in the 4th inning. I don't know what that was. You got to be kidding me, but McDonald does have pretty good numbers still overall. 21-4 strikeout walk ratio in 22 2/3 innings, 19 hits allowed. His other 3 starts are all pretty good. They were all wins for his team. 2 of them were wins for him. One of them was against the Dodgers on the road, which was that was his worst start besides the most recent one, but it wasn't that bad. And then he pitched well at the A's stadium. So I think McDonald is pretty good. He has some history before this year as well in the majors where he did pitch pretty well. His numbers against the D-backs are not good, but it's a small sample, 5 at-bats. 6 of their hitters have faced him. They have 1 walk, no strikeouts. They have a 600 average, though, 1267 OPS, but it's 3 for 5 with 3 singles. So I don't know. I would not put that much weight into that. Even though Arizona's seen McDonald before, they haven't seen him this year. I think he lines up to pitch okay here. I kind of lean more towards this being more of a pitching matchup here. The money is coming in towards the under. We have 72% of tickets, 60% of the cash on the over. So I would kind of be leaning under here. The total is 7.5, so odds makers think this will be a low-scoring game. I still worry about Soroka's road numbers, but I think he's in good form. My gauge would be that McDonald should bounce back. So I would lean under here. I don't really want to try to fade Arizona, even though I know they're trying to avoid I know San Francisco's trying to avoid the sweep here. They're just not that good, San Francisco, and they're a low-scoring team usually. They don't hit well. Arizona is favored. They are the better team. They're around minus 126. As far as the cash there, the money's coming in on Arizona. 78% of tickets, 92% of the cash on them on the money line. Do with that info what you want, as I always say. We have not gotten to my play yet. My play is in the evening slate, not early evening, but in the some of the first evening games. Yeah, I don't know, man. The home runs, I don't like it. If you throw $1 or $2 on it, whatever. Yeah, like I said, you just have to be of the mindset that it's entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, betting home run props for profit you can't do it. It's not possible. It's negative EV. Tyson, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. Obviously I would not parlay them. Yes, Michael Soroka, former Brave. Zach, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. I have not gotten to the Royals yet. They're not up next either. When the Royals are playing later, they're still playing a 7:40 p.m. game. There's only one late night game. The Dodgers game is the only really late game, so it's going to be isolated. Next game is Philadelphia and San Diego. Philadelphia's on the verge of a sweep, and they play the Dodgers next. So it is possible Philadelphia does overlook San Diego here, looking ahead to the Dodgers. I think that is a possibility here. But if you want to fade Philadelphia, you have to fade Christopher Sanchez, which is, not an easy thing to do, I will say. Although sometimes the best bets are the bets that don't look easy. But I don't know. In baseball, I really never want to fade these like elite pitchers, though. Philadelphia used 3 relievers yesterday. San Diego also used 3. They did not use Mason Miller. A couple of their other better relievers are still available. San Diego's number 5 in bullpen. They have one of the best bullpen ERAs. They're a top-level bullpen for sure. Philadelphia's is okay at 14th. Neither team has hit well. San Diego 29th, Philadelphia 25th. Christopher Sanchez, like I said, is pitching for Philly. He's having a really good season again, 1.62 ERA, 1.15 whip. He's not as good on the road, so if you do want to fade Sanchez, more than often, I think you're going to want to do it on the road. 3.72 road ERA is still not bad, but he has a sub-1 home ERA and a bigger sample size, which is just madness. He's pitched really well. This month, he's made 4 starts. He's gone at least 7 innings in all of them, and he's allowed 0 runs over that span. He's allowed well below 1 hit per inning over that span, 19 in 32 innings. He has 36 strikeouts and 3 walks, and he has way more ground balls than fly balls this month. He's been the best pitcher in baseball this month. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball right now. He'll be in the Cy Young. He's in Cy Young contention for sure, man. But he's in the National League, so he's got to be up against Skeens, Mizurowski. He has one of the highest strikeout rates in baseball as well, although he's thrown a lot of innings, too. He's thrown more innings than most pitchers. And probably another reason why I like him, though, like he actually goes deep into his starts, man. It's like being back in the 90s again. He's allowed fewer than 1 hit per inning on the season. He's allowed a very low amount of home runs, 3. His walk rate is low. His strikeout rate's high ground ball rate, too. Yeah, I mean, he's entering the elite conversation here. But he does not have good numbers against San Diego in a big sample, 57 at-bats. They have a 386 average against him, 978 OPS, 12-3 strikeout walk ratio, which is kind of crazy because you'd think, like San Diego gets to face Sanchez, Luzardo in this series. They had good numbers off of both of them, and they haven't won a game yet in the series, although they haven't faced Sanchez yet. But do you really want to face Sanchez ever, though? Like I said, probably you don't. I don't think I want to fade him, but his matchup numbers do show some indicators that he might be fadeable in this matchup. But also, if you want San Diego, you have to put your money on Buehler, Walker Buehler. I don't think I want to do that either. He's clearly the lesser pitcher. He's got a 5.05 ERA, 1.4 whip. So both former Red Sox pitchers and former Dodger pitchers who have not bounced back from Tommy John surgery are both pitching today. May and Buehler. Buehler, again, not good. 5.05 ERA, 1.4 whip. He's been pretty good at home, though. 3.52 home ERA, where it's more pitcher-friendly. So at least he has that. He pitches in a pitcher-friendly stadium. But he pitched here last time out, and he walked 4 guys against the A's. So Walker living up to his name there. Over the course of this Walker Texas Raid, dude, he should be on the Texas Rangers. Walker Texas Ranger. Let's go, man. They need to have at least somebody named Walker, or at least Walker. He's got 17 strikeouts, 6 walks this month, 20 hits allowed in 21 and a third innings. Those numbers are not that bad. So he's been okay this month. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in each of his last 3 outings. And San Diego's actually won his last 4 starts. Over the course of the season, he's allowed a little bit more than 1 hit per inning. Walk rate is a little bit high, so he is a walker. And his strikeout rate is a bit low. So, I mean, you could try to play him here, man. You're getting him as an underdog. He actually has pretty good numbers against the Phillies, at least not horrible. In 74 at-bats, 243 batting average, 744 OPS, is below that 750 Mendoza line. 13-9 strikeout walk ratio is not good, though. I mean, it sounds insane, but I think I do lean to San Diego here. They do have the better bullpen, so if you can somehow get to the bullpens in a close game here, San Diego has a shot to win this game, and I don't like the situation for Philly. Like I said, they might be looking ahead to the Dodgers. They've already won the series. Philly is a pretty big favorite here, minus 167. And like I said, they might be looking ahead. They got 79% of tickets, 81% of the cash on them on the money line, but it looks like more of the cash is playing them on the run line, but that's That's what the professionals do, though. Like, if they see in this price range, they're going to start throwing money on the run line if they're playing the favorite. Looks like a lot of money towards the under in this game, too. The total's a 7. Really low total. So it's expected to be a pitching duel, but that actually helps your case if you like San Diego. Because if you're going to have a low-scoring game and you're grabbing the underdog, and if I played San Diego here, I would probably do a split bet. Put part of it on the plus 1.5 run line and put part of it on the money line. That's what I would probably do here. The matchup numbers seem to support it reasonably. You got the home road splits actually kind of in your favor if you do that as well. Minus 160 or so is what Philly's price is. But like I said, in that price range, if you're playing the dog, or even if you're playing the favorite, I would put some on the money line and some on the run line. That's what I would do if I was going to play it. I really don't want to personally, but I think that would be my lean. I think it's a spot where you might be able to play San Diego. But remember, I did say going into the series, Philadelphia is better than their record looks, and San Diego is not as good as their record looks. So I said that coming into the series, Philadelphia won the first 2 games. Yesterday seemed to be a decent matchup for Philly. It was Nola with better matchup numbers up against Randy Vasquez, who got pushed back. So Philly made some sense in the game yesterday. So I think that was my lean in the game yesterday. But yeah, in this spot, I would lean San Diego. Garrett, you're going to do it? All right, well, thank you. I think hopefully you'll like my actual play better than that, though, because obviously I do. Tampa Bay at Baltimore is on Fox Sports 1 as we get into the evening games here. This game is also hard to predict because we don't know who Baltimore is starting here. So they don't have a listed starter as far as I know. No, they still have not. So I look back, and it's odd because 5 starts ago, I'm pretty sure it was Chris Bassett. And Bassett was okay in that game. He's been better at home. This is a home game. It's not like Baltimore has that many other options here. Bassett was decent in that start. They won the game, so why would Bassett not be pitching here? Like, it's his turn, right? So I don't really understand that. So I was expecting it to be Bassett here, even though he hasn't been good on the season. He was at least okay in that last outing against Detroit. He's been mediocre-ish this month at least, so I don't know what's going on. I don't see any injury news on him, so I don't know what the deal is here, man. It should be his turn in the rotation, so take from that what you want, but it looks like he might not actually it looks like he might not actually pitch here. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens here. Tampa Bay used 3 relief pitchers yesterday. Baltimore used 2. But the handicap is definitely going to depend on who the starter is for Tampa Bay here. Like, I don't think it's one of those spots where it just doesn't matter. Which I think yesterday was, by the way, that was one of my other leans I forgot to mention. The Reds also were correct. I said Reds first 5. Chase Burns. I told you it was going to be David Peterson for probably the majority of the pitching duties for the Mets, and I was correct. They did use him. So that would have been a winner as well if I gave that. I gave it out as a lean. My leans were on fire yesterday, man. I'm kind of pissed. That one was an easy one, too, with the Reds. Man, anyway, but we're talking about this other game here. Bullpen-wise, these bullpens haven't been that good. Tampa Bay 15th, Orioles 19th, not great. Tampa Bay's hitting has been decent. They're 7th. The Orioles not as much at 16th, but not awful. Steven Matz is getting the start for Tampa Bay. He came back from injury, I think, 1 start ago. He's pitching pretty well this season in his return to being a starting pitcher after he was a relief pitcher for a while with St. Louis. 3.7 ERA, 1.11 whip for him. He's been a little bit better on the road as well, 3.47 road ERA. He's only made 1 start since coming back from injury. They're working him back in. He only went 4 innings. He threw 67 pitches. So I expect he'll probably go a little bit deeper into this game as long as he's pitching well. That game was against Baltimore, though. So he's facing Baltimore again right now. But he pitched fine in that game. He went 4 innings, allowed 1 run, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks on 3 hits. So he looked like he was fine. His numbers against Baltimore are fine. In 38 at-bats, 211 batting average. That's good. 637 OPS, not bad either. 11-3 strikeout walk ratio. So he can definitely pitch well again here against Baltimore. Baltimore going with a bullpen game. Baltimore is on the verge of a sweep as well, which I forgot to mention. Baltimore is playing Toronto next. I don't know if that is really a look ahead, although Toronto is ahead of them in the standings. Is Baltimore really going to overlook the team that's in first place in the division, though? I don't know. And the Yankees have to be thanking Baltimore right now because Baltimore is helping the Yankees catch up to Tampa here. I did tell you that I thought Tampa was going to fall back a little bit. Like, I think Tampa's not that bad of a team, but they're not as good as their record looks. They've won a lot of close games. But Tampa is the better team here. They might have extra motivation because they're facing a potential sweep here. I would probably lean to Tampa. I don't know who's going to pitch for Baltimore here. If it's going to be Bassett, I don't really know if I necessarily want to fade him. That's why. It looks like Dean Kremer might come off the DL, so I think that's why. I don't know. Is it going to be Kremer? He's only made 2 starts this season, so I have no idea, dude. I just want to look at this real quick so you guys can do what you want with this game. Kremer has really good numbers, actually, against Tampa Bay in a pretty big sample. So if it is going to be Kremer, I do not want to fade Baltimore. That is a good Kremer has a good matchup against, although, Kremer, I was never really a fan of him. Didn't think he was that good of a pitcher. And then he played in the World Baseball Classic or whatever for the country that we all dislike the most. So I'm not a fan of that. I don't want to get my channel nuked here. Chris Bassett, by the way, if Bassett does wind up pitching, he is good at home, like I said. And Bassett's numbers against Tampa are mediocre in a pretty big sample. So Kremer would have a bigger matchup edge than Bassett, in my opinion. So I think if you want to play Tampa Bay, it makes more sense to do it against Bassett than it does against Kremer. But I don't really want to fade Bassett either, just because he's pretty good at home. But Tampa Bay did just see him, although that's the case with both of these starting pitchers. The money is coming in on Tampa Bay. 67% of tickets, 83% of the cash on Tampa Bay. So the money is indicating on Tampa Bay anyway, so do with that info what you want. Total's fairly high at 9, but not much to read into the percentages there. So do with that information what you want. The line is basically a pick-em price there, though. So you're actually getting Tampa Bay at a pick-em price if you want to take them there. But I worry it almost looks too easy to take Tampa there. You know what I mean? Like, the public is going to, they get to avoid the sweep here. They got, a pitcher that has a good ERA going here. They got the better record. So the public looks like they're going to be on the Tampa Bay side, but it does look like the money is also backing Tampa there. The good fade spot was the San Diego play. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, throw Kremer in your coffee. All right, we have the next game up is my actual play here, so here we go. I don't know if anybody can guess what it is. Knowing me, you might be able to guess what it is, though. We're going to go Anaheim, Detroit, first 5 under. I found it at 4 at minus 115. A couple of different books had that number. So, obviously, I like that more than the 3.5. At minus 115, I think it's a reasonable price. I'm gonna exclude the bullpens from this under because, obviously, I can't deal with these bullpens, especially Anaheim's bullpen. No, thank you. So we're going to take the bullpens out of this. Anaheim used 4 relief pitchers yesterday, too. Good luck to them. Detroit's not a great bullpen either, and they used 3. Anaheim's bullpen is just bottom of the barrel, though. They're ranked second worst right now, 29th. I think they are the second worst, but I think Houston is still the worst, even though Houston is ranked above them very slightly in whip. But we'll talk about that when we talk about Zach's last place bullpen, Royals. But I think the Royals are not as bad as a couple of these other teams. Angels are a terrible bullpen, though. Detroit's not really great at 22nd, although their ERA kind of indicates they're, maybe they should be not quite that bad. Angels have started hitting a little bit again in this series. They're at 17th here. Detroit has been hitting very, very badly. They're at 25th. So we're going to fade. I think these are a couple of offenses that are still struggling, though. So I'm okay with fading both offenses, even though I know there was an offensive explosion in the game yesterday, 10-6. So people might look at that. That was the only game in the series so far. These teams are playing again tomorrow. People might look at that and maybe have a tendency to think this is going to be a high-scoring game again. But maybe they're going to look at the pitchers and think otherwise. But I'm going to look at these pitchers and say, yeah, I think this is going to be a pitching duel early in the game here. And I still am going to go with these offenses have not been performing well recently. So I think yesterday might be a little bit more of an outlier. Because if you look at what these teams have done recently, Anaheim had a decent amount of low-scoring games in the mix there. Well, a lot of it was against Texas, but that wasn't in Texas. So, and then they had a couple of games. One game against the A's that was low-scoring as well. But Detroit really has been failing to score. Anaheim, by the way, they played a lot of high-scoring games against the Dodgers, but Anaheim only scored 3 runs in that entire series. They had some low-scoring results against Cleveland, too. So Anaheim, really, their offense has not been good. I would not look at the fact that they scored 10 runs yesterday and think that they're all of a sudden back. I forget, who did Detroit... Oh, that was Montero, I think, pitching yesterday, right? I thought he would pitch better, but whatever. I think we get a better pitching matchup here anyway. José Soriano is pitching for Anaheim. He started out the season excellent, and I said he was going to regress a little bit. And one thing that we know about Soriano, though, you look at him the last couple of years, including this year, he sucks at home. I don't know why. I mean, Anaheim's stadium is pretty hitter-friendly, but he's not good at home, and he's way better on the road. Well, guess what? We get him on the road here. His numbers are good on the season, 2.44 ERA, 1.07 whip. Obviously, he had to regress from those elite numbers that he had early in the season. But again, like I said, he's pitching a lot better on the road, 1.14 road ERA. So he's in as good of his home road splits, and that carries through last season in its entirety as well. He had a rough outing against the Dodgers 2 starts ago. 2 starts prior to that, he was bad against the White Sox. Both of those starts were at home, though. And in between those 2, he had a good start on the road against Toronto. And his most recent start, he had a nice start against the A's at home, by the way. So I think he might be coming back into form here. He's got a high strikeout rate this month, so that's good, over 1 per inning. His walk rate is high, but more than half of the walks came in that 1 start against the Dodgers. So I think we might give him a pass for that. He's allowed fewer than 1 hit per inning this month. He's got good numbers on the season still. He's got way over 1 strikeout per inning, way below 1 hit allowed per inning. Walk rate is not great, but I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass for it, which usually I don't do, but the rest of his numbers are good enough. Then, of course, the matchup. He does match up well against Detroit. I think they only have 17 at-bats against them. They have no extra base hits, 7 strikeouts, no walks, 176 average, 353 OPS. So we get Soriano where he's at his best on the road. He looks to be in decent form because he pitched well in his last outing, and 2 of his last 3 were good. I think we give him a pass for not doing well against the Dodgers. He has a good matchup here against Detroit, so I like that. Casey Mize on the other side is pitching for Detroit. He's been pretty good this year as well. 2.47 ERA, 0.98 whip. Dude, I think he's a little bit under the radar. Like, he's pitching better than you would think. Nobody really knows his name. He's been okay, like, with Detroit in the past, but this is something we haven't seen out of him before. And, yeah, maybe he regresses at some point, but I think he's going to give you a good start here. He's got a 1.48 home ERA, so we have 2 pitchers that are in the better of their home road splits, and their ERAs in the 1s, home and away for each of them where they are in this game. Mize came back from injury 2 starts ago. He's made 2 starts in May since coming back. And while Detroit lost both games, that was because Detroit can't hit. Detroit scored 1 run in each of them, so it was not his fault that they lost those games. He went 12 2/3 innings, gave up only 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, no walks. And those outings were against Toronto and Cleveland. So Mize pitched well in those outings. Up against Anaheim, he's got good numbers against them in 62 at-bats, so we have a big sample here. 12-4 strikeout walk ratio, 177 average, 582 OPS. So his numbers are good as well. We're going to exclude the bullpens. I like the starting pitching matchup here. It's my only baseball play under first 5 innings, Anaheim-Detroit. Full game total looks like it is 7.5, so that's low. So the odds makers are telling you they think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't want the bullpens, like I said. The money looks like it's definitely coming in on the under here. We have 62% of tickets on the over and only 26% of the cash on the over, according to this site here. So the money is coming in towards the under full game. We're going first 5, though. Like I said, hopefully you have a bunch of books available so you can line shop. I know I give out a lot of plays like this where you kind of need to get the best number here, but I saw this exact number at least 2 books this morning, so hopefully you can find it. I would pay probably up to about minus 120 or so to get it under 4. I'd still agree with it at 3.5, but obviously there's no key number. Like every half run is basically worth the same in this first 5 play, right? So every half run does matter because it's a very small sample here. But that is my one baseball play. I like that one. I wouldn't disagree with doing it full game. Just, if you asked me to pick like a side on the total in the full game, I'd still say under, but these bullpens are very, very worrisome. All right, especially Anaheim's. All right, we have Chicago Cubs at Pittsburgh. This series continues tomorrow, so some of these evening series are continuing. The Cubs have still not been able to break this losing streak, and I told you I did not like the Cubs yesterday. The Cubs were going with a bullpen game against Braxton Ashcraft. I did not like that, so Pittsburgh won, but they won easily, 12-1. But this is a Cubs team. They are not as bad as their record looks right now. They're now in last place in the NL Central, tied with Pittsburgh, but below them. But every team in the division's above 500 right now. And like I said, I think the Cubs are either the best or the second best team in this division. I think right now the Cubs are kind of suffering because they have too many starting pitching injuries right now. But they got to break this losing streak, man. They've lost 10 games in a row. They got blown out yesterday. You got to think they're going to show up for a game here. Now that they're tied in last place, although Pittsburgh should be motivated as well. It's a 4-game series. They want to keep beating the Cubs. Pittsburgh hasn't been Pittsburgh hasn't even been a decent team for a while, so they probably still are going to be motivated here. Pittsburgh used 2 relief pitchers yesterday. The Cubs used 3. Cubs do have the better bullpen, but they've been a little bit lesser recently, but they're still at 8th. That's not too bad. Pittsburgh is 18th, so the Cubs do have a bullpen edge still. Cubs' offense has fallen off a bit. They're at 10th right now, and Pittsburgh has overtaken them. Pittsburgh is 6th. So Pittsburgh does have a good offense here. I think both offenses are pretty capable. Looking at the starting pitching matchup, Jameson Taillon is pitching for the Cubs. I don't know, man. Can he stem the tide and actually help the Cubs win here? He hasn't been pitching well recently. He had pretty good numbers for most of the season, but his numbers right now don't look very good. 5.2 ERA, 1.27 WHIP isn't that bad, though. He's been worse on the road, 6.04 road ERA. Pittsburgh is known as, this year, they're a very good offensive team at home, so there are a lot of indicators that Pittsburgh may be able to score some runs here. Taillon bad on the road. Taillon not in good form right now. His last 2 starts were both fairly bad, at the White Sox and then at home against Houston. Although this month, 16-5 strikeout walk ratio is not that bad, but he's allowed 8 home runs, although 5 of them came against the White Sox. I don't know what that was. And he's allowed more than 1 hit per inning, and his team has lost 3 of his starts in a row. He did have 5 strikeouts, 1 walk in his last outing. That's not bad against Houston, but he was very hittable. His season-wide numbers, his hit rate is actually fairly good. It's below 1 per inning. He's allowed, I think, the most home runs in baseball, though. He's allowed 17 home runs. That is insane. I know he's kind of a home run conducive pitcher. He's a fly ball pitcher, but that's still bad, man. His walk rate is not horrible. His strikeout rate's a bit low, though. Against Pittsburgh, his numbers are, I would say, on the slightly bad side. At 108 at bats, 20-10 strikeout walk ratio is not good. 269 batting average is acceptable, but 793 OPS. I mean, that's not horrible, but it's on the side where I would say Pittsburgh's hitters do have a bit of an advantage against them, and that's in 108 at bats. So there are definitely some indicators that Taillon may not pitch well here. Bubba Chandler is pitching for the Pirates. He's a young guy with some talent, man, but he's had some major issues this season. He's got a 4.79 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. His main issue is that he walks too many guys. He's been a little bit worse at home, 5.4 home ERA. Pitched pretty well in his last outing. He went 5 innings on the road, gave up no earned runs against Toronto, and had 11 strikeouts. that was pretty good. But this month, he has a 20-14 strikeout walk ratio. Like I said, these walks are a huge concern. He had 3 of them in that start against Toronto, too. That's not good. Although he's been pretty unhittable. He's only allowed 12 hits in 18 innings this month. Pirates have lost 6 starts in a row of his, though. That's not a good sign for a good offense like Pittsburgh, losing that many games in a row with him pitching. But a couple of them, the offense scored nothing. So the offense really has not backed him up either. So it's been a combination of things. He's got a good strikeout rate, 1 per inning, a low hit rate. The walks are an unbelievable concern, though. He's got 34 walks in 47 innings. Come on, man. Like, he might have the highest walk rate in baseball. I mean, that is a ridiculous rate. Like, that's his only bad number. The rest of his numbers are good. Like, he would be a strong pitcher, dude, if he stopped walking people. I mean, that's insane. Against the Cubs, his numbers are a bit all over the place. In 20 at-bats, 250 average allowed, and a 918 OPS is not very good. With home runs from Ballesteros and Swanson. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Yeah, I think this game is an over. That would be the way I would look in this game. The money seems to be indicating that way. 61% of tickets, 80% of the cash on the over. As far as the side, it's basically a pick-the-winner price, and the money is coming in towards the Pirates. 61% of tickets, 71% of the cash on the home team here at basically a pick-em price. I mean, I could see the argument for that. Chandler, I think he has more like raw talent than Taillon does, but his walks are just a huge, huge issue, man. So yeah, I think over, is the way to look at this game. The total's 9 or 8.5, I guess. If you find an over 8.5, minus 120, I don't really hate that at all. I mean, I don't want to say this is that strong of a lean for me, but I don't like the board much today at all. But I think this is probably one of the ones that I have more of a feel for, I guess I would say. Like, I kind of like the under in Miami, Toronto. I did say that. Maybe a first 5 under makes more sense there. San Diego, is pretty iffy, I would say, but that is a lean for me towards San Diego. But I do kind of like this one over in the Cubs and Pirates game, especially if you get over 8.5 at minus 120. You get in under that key number of 9. Thank you, sir. Garrett, thank you. Well, I don't know. Do I talk too much? Like, are people really going to listen to me? I don't know, man. All right, we have 6 games left on the board here. I'll talk about my atrocious Boston Red Sox. By the way, the Red Sox, they continue to actually hit better. Their offense has started doing better at home, finally, because their offense has been bad at home all year. Coming into this series, the Red Sox were still the lowest scoring team at home. They actually surpassed Texas as the lowest scoring home team, which makes no sense because Fenway's a hitter-friendly ballpark. But I think some of it's been the cool air. The offense hasn't gotten going, but the offense is getting going now. And you would think because the Red Sox pitching has been good, I keep complaining about this. The Red Sox, like, their main problem was the hitting, and if that's getting better, they should be a better team. No, they've lost 4 games in a row because their pitching all of a sudden isn't good. I hate it, dude. I fucking hate it. Something's got to give. I think the Red Sox are at least probably better than the record looks, at least with the talent that they have, but they're facing the Braves here. The Braves are good. Red Sox lost by 1 run yesterday. This is a rivalry because Atlanta was in Boston in like the early 1900s. So it's a geographic rivalry, man, because the Boston Braves were a team in the 1900s or whatever, before they moved to Milwaukee or whatever, well before the Hank Aaron days. Atlanta did use 4 relief pitchers yesterday. Boston used 3. Both bullpens are good, and even though it was a close game, the Red Sox at least did not use their closer because they lost the game. Although Chapman's not even listed on this sheet here. I don't even know. Is he injured right now? I don't know what the deal is. If Chapman's injured, this is some real bad shit for the Red Sox here, dude. I don't know how I haven't heard that, if that is the case. Yeah, I guess so. It looks like Chapman is fucking hurt. Oh, no, he's still there. He's the closer. What the fuck? Maybe he just hasn't pitched in that long. Dude, Chapman, he's one of the best closers in history, dude. Like, I don't know how he's still doing what he's doing at the age of, like, 38 or whatever. It's crazy, but whatever. Red Sox bullpen is good. Both these bullpens are good. Atlanta's ranked number 1 in bullpen. The Red Sox ERA in the bullpen's a little bit better. They're ranked 6th. That's based on whip. But these are two very good bullpens over the course of the season. Atlanta has the way better offense, though. They're ranked 3rd right now in offense. Red Sox are 24th, so they're above this cluster that's tied at 25th here, which are Detroit, Philly, San Francisco, and Toronto. And I already talked about all of those teams, because you might be wondering, how are all of those teams 25th? Well, they're all tied in OPS. Bryce Elder is pitching for Atlanta. If you remember, I went under twice in the last series between these two teams in Atlanta, and I believe one of them had the same matchup, Elder against Early. We went under, and it was an easy win. Elder is having a good season, dude. After he was very questionable last year, he was good earlier in his career, and this year it looks like he's back. He's got a 1.97 ERA, 0.99 whip. He's been good on the road as well, 1.78 road ERA. Pitching well this month, including that start against Boston. Last time out, he went, or two starts ago, he went 8 innings in that one and gave up 3 earned runs. That was a good start from him. He's got a 24-8 strikeout walk ratio this month and only 15 hits allowed in 25 2/3 innings. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every start over the course of the entire season. He's got a low strikeout rate this year. His walk rate is a little bit high, but his hit rate is also really low. So even though his strikeout walk ratio is kind of concerning, he's still pitching well, dude. He's been effective. He's allowing so few hits that guys are just not getting on base. His numbers against the Red Sox also are good, as we might know, because I went with that under last time out. 61 at bats, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, 180 batting average, 472 OPS. Wilson Contreras is like the only guy in the Red Sox lineup that actually does real damage against him, with a 5 for 13 clip with a home run. So do what you want with that info. But Elder has really good numbers against Boston. Connolly Early is pitching for the Red Sox. He's doing pretty well. 3.33 ERA, 1.19 whip. This is basically like his first full season as a major league starter. He's a little bit worse at home, though. He's got a 4.43 home ERA. Struggles a bit more at home. It is a more hitter-friendly ballpark. He was decent enough last time out at Atlanta, 2 starts ago for him, but in Atlanta he went 5 innings, gave up 2 earned runs that were both solo home runs. We got the under right in that game. He had 6 strikeouts, no walks. He's been pretty good over the course of the month. 22 strikeouts, 5 walks, 21 hits allowed in 22 1/3 innings. That's pretty good. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all but 1 start this season, which was a home start against Houston. But maybe that was a little bit of a blip because he's been good again since then. And that is skewing his home numbers a little bit. Also, he had a start against the Yankees at home where he was not great, but okay. And that is also impacting his home numbers. But, of course, the Braves are a good offense, too. His strikeout rate's not quite 1 per inning, but not bad. He's allowed fewer than 1 hit per inning. His walk rate is a little bit high, so he's got to figure that out. So that's Early's worst number is the walk number. His numbers against Atlanta are good, but it's basically all that 1 start that he made last time. So that's the problem, is that he no longer has the unfamiliarity edge. So that was part of the reason why I went under in that game, was Early had never been seen before by the Braves. But now that they just saw him, he has less of an advantage now because they're not unfamiliar with him anymore. He's got 16 at-bats against them. He did pitch well against them, though. 5 strikeouts, no walks, 188 batting average, 610 OPS. So he might pitch well again here. He's certainly capable of having another good start here. So I'm not going to completely write him off, but it kind of keeps me off of going with the under here, even though my first instinct was to lean under in this game again here. And I don't really disagree with that. The money is hitting the over, though. It's at 8.5. 66% of tickets, 77% of the cash on the over. Do what you want with that info. I have a slight lean towards the under here still. Yesterday, very high scoring as well, but the bullpens are still pretty intact here, and they're good. The money seems to be coming in on the Braves, but they're public as well. They're about a -120 favorite here, and that number's dropped a little bit. 82% of tickets, 94% of the cash on the Braves. I don't really disagree with the Braves, though. I think the disadvantage kind of comes in with, and the Braves have the better offense, of course, but I think the disadvantage comes in with early, not being unfamiliar anymore to Atlanta here. Elder has been good, yes. Red Sox scored 2 runs off of Atlanta's closer last night. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen again, although the Braves might not be able to use their closer again unless they want to use him 2 days in a row. Gerald, what's up? Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. The Red Sox, I am very, very angry as a Boston fan here. It is bad, fucking bad shit. I hate it. Yeah, we had our other teams get eliminated from the playoffs. All right, I'll be back, and then I'll talk about the rest of these games. Cincinnati and the Mets is the next game. That one's going to be an interesting handicap in that one at the very least. I find it all interesting, though, so I'll be right back. All right. Next game up, yeah, like I said, is Reds-Mets. I was correct about the game yesterday. The Reds winning the first 5 innings and winning the full game. Chase Burns, man, he's a play-on pitcher, obviously. I've given out numerous plays involving him and playing on him or on unders with him. He's not pitching today, though, obviously. The Reds' bullpen is not good. They used 4 relief pitchers yesterday, my mistake. The Mets have the better bullpen. The Mets used 2. This is going to be a weird handicap because Sean Manaea, I thought was going to wind up being involved in the game today, but they used him yesterday as like a long relief guy. I think they used him and Peterson. I don't know what they're doing, dude. Hold on a second. Let me look at the box score there. Did they use both of them? Yeah, so I was right. Peterson, basically, he made the start. So I was correct about that. But then Manaea came in relief. So I don't know what the Mets are going to do here, dude. The Mets are going with a bullpen game, and it looks like it's going to be a true bullpen game because I thought that Manaea was going to pitch here because I was like, well, what did the Mets do 5 games ago, right? That's what I always do. Well, they used Manaea for a huge chunk of the game. So I was thinking, okay, well, yesterday they used David Peterson. That means today they're going to use Manaea as kind of their pseudo starter, but they're not because he pitched 3 innings yesterday. So unless they're going to bring him out again and pitch 3 innings here, I have no idea what the Mets are doing. I don't think you could trust whatever the hell they're doing with this bullpen here. But the Mets are trying to avoid a sweep. Cincinnati has won both games of the series 7-2. Yeah, and Cincinnati could look ahead. They got Atlanta next, so that might be a look ahead for Cincinnati. So this is a spot where the Mets have the better situation, but how can you possibly put your money on this completely unpredictable Mets bullpen game? I don't know what the fuck they're doing here. I would not recommend it. I would not want to do it. Although the Reds bullpen is bad. The Reds are 27th. The Mets bullpen is actually good at 9th, but I don't know if I want a Mets bullpen pitching an entire game here. Maybe it will actually do well. I don't know. Andrew Abbott is getting the start for the Reds. He's got an okay ERA here now, 3.97, but his whip is bad, 1.46. He is pitching better than he was before, though, and he's been decent throughout his career. He's good on the road this year, 2.42 road ERA. He's struggled a lot at home, and it is a more hitter-friendly ballpark in Cincinnati, but it's still kind of weird that he's having issues at home because he's been on Cincinnati for his whole career so far, so I don't know. But he pitches better on the road right now. he's, like I said, he started pitching better. He's been fairly good this month, and that he's only allowed 2 runs in 22 innings, 14 hits allowed, but his walk number is still a huge issue. He's got 11 walks. He's walking 1 guy every 2 innings here, and 14 strikeouts. Pretty low strikeout rate, but he's not really a strikeout pitcher. His team has won 3 games in a row that he started, but I can't trust him with this walk number, man. I think these numbers, the very few runs that he's allowed, I think are a little bit of a mirage, although he's been hard to hit. But over the course of the season, that hasn't really been the case. He's allowed more than 1 hit per inning. His walk rate is still too high. His strikeout rate is low, so his strikeout walk ratio on the season is bad. I don't fully trust him. His numbers against the Mets are also not good in 33 at-bats, although a third of the numbers are from Juan Soto, who is 5 for 11 off him with a double. 364 average allowed to the Mets, 885 OPS, 5-2 strikeout walk ratio. So, it doesn't look like the greatest matchup for Abbott here, even though he is normally good on the road. He is facing an offense that hasn't hit at all, which I forgot to show the offensive numbers. The Mets are dead last. What else is new? The Reds have been hitting better recently. Again, the Reds are 12th, so the Reds do have the better offense here. And like I said, the Mets are going with a bullpen game. They have Huascar Brazaban listed as their starter, but he's only going to go like 1 or 2 innings here. That's what he's done every outing he's had basically this entire season. So he's going to come in and open. And then, like I said, I thought it was going to be Manaea behind him, but it probably isn't because Manaea went 3 innings last night. So I have no idea what the Mets are doing here. Absolutely no clue. Obviously, it won't be Peterson because he pitched 5 innings yesterday. So I think it is going to be a true Mets bullpen game here. Good luck if you want to play this game. The money is coming in towards the Reds. 72% of tickets, 82% of the cash on them. The situation, though, to me still favors the Mets. Dude, I think I still lean to the Mets here. I know it sounds completely insane, but the situation favors them. I could definitely see Abbott having some issues here, and the Reds' bullpen having some issues. The Mets could win this game, and the Mets, I don't know, man. I mean, they're not as bad, like, talent-wise as their record looks. Like, I don't know, man. At some point, you got to think they're going to be at least a little bit better. The Mets are favored, by the way. Who's going to play on the Mets right now as a favorite, right? So that kind of, I think, tells you something as well. The fact that the Mets are favored with a bullpen game. The odds makers are telling you that they think the Mets are going to win this game, even though they have the worst of the 2 records here. So I think the odds makers are kind of indicating that they think the Mets are the right side here. And they're anti-public, at least. Money's also coming in towards the over, for what that's worth. Over the 8. 64% of tickets, 83% of the cash on the over. I don't disagree. I mean, it's a Mets bullpen game up against Abbott, who might have issues here, and a Reds bullpen that I would not want to touch. So I don't disagree with the over in that game either. Minnesota at the White Sox. These teams have bad bullpens, and they went extra innings yesterday, which was a 5-3 win for the Twins. The White Sox won the game before that. This is also a 4-game series, so it continues tomorrow. It's a divisional series. Both teams likely to show up here. But the bullpens are bad, and they're used because it was an extra inning game yesterday. Minnesota used 5 relief pitchers. Is that what that is? No, 4. Dude, my stroke brain can't figure out how many rows there are. White Sox use 3, but I don't trust either bullpen at all. Minnesota's 26th, White Sox 25th in bullpen. Offenses have been pretty good. The White Sox 11th, Minnesota 12th. So seems like, there are some things that make this look like an over game here. But Connor Prelip is pitching for Minnesota. I don't really know if I want to fade him. But, of course, he screwed us in his last outing against the Red Sox. So we had an under in that game. That loss and the Red Sox loss. So isn't that just fucking great? Prelip, overall, he's been pretty good still, though. This is his rookie season, I'm pretty sure. 4.03 ERA, 1.17 whip. He's been bad on the road, though. 5.54 road ERA. But again, that was that one start against the Red Sox where he didn't do well. But all of his other starts are pretty good. He allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in every other start. So what do we think here? Is he going out of form, or was that a blip? I don't know. It's hard to say. He had 3 walks, 1 strikeout in that game, which isn't that great. Over the course of the season, his hit rate is low. Strikeout rate is fairly high, more than one per inning, and his walk rate is a little bit high. So I guess do with all that info what you want. The White Sox have never faced him before, so I kind of lean towards Prelit pitching better again here. Like, I think that might have been a little bit of an outlier, and he will potentially bounce back here with the upper hand, potentially because he's never been faced before by the White Sox lineup. So that is an extra advantage Prelit has, and the unfamiliarity edge is also going to be the case with David Sandlin, who is pitching for the White Sox. This is his major league debut. Both of these pitchers are 25. It's a little bit late to have a major league debut, so I don't know if Sandlin had some injuries that derailed his career. I know he was in the Red Sox organization initially, and I think he profiles as more of a relief pitcher, though, in my opinion. Like, I went back and I looked at his scouting. I looked at what he's done in the minors this year. He's only pitched a little bit in AAA this year. Like, I think he only made 2 starts in AAA this year, and his numbers were pretty good. I think he had an ERA like in the 2s. His whip was like 1.2. So I'm like, all right, yeah, those numbers are fine in AAA. He looked, or his ERA might have even been sub 2, but it was a really small sample size. And I think his issue was like his walks. I think his walk number is his main concern, but also the scouting. He does not have a deep pitch mix. He throws hard. He throws like upper 90s, mid to upper 90s fastball, but his only other pitches are a slider and a cutter. So I don't know. It's basically like kind of like this fastball mix. I mean, the slider is an off-speed pitch still, but it's kind of still a fastball-ish. So I don't know, man. I mean, he profiles to me as more of a relief pitcher, at least based on that arsenal. I honestly have no idea what we're going to get out of him here. I think it's very unpredictable. The Twins, have never seen him before, so he does have that advantage of unfamiliarity there. I do not want to try to get involved in this game, though. I could see the argument for the over. The money is coming in towards the over here. 70% of tickets, 92% of the cash on the over. I don't disagree. It's a total of 8, and like I said, the bullpens are kind of used up right now, and they're not good. So if you go over, I would definitely go over full game. It is possible that with the starting pitching matchup here, the starters don't go that deep into the game. So I think the over kind of makes the most sense in this game. The money is also coming in towards the home team here, the White Sox. They're around minus 120 something. 56% of tickets, 71% of the cash on the White Sox. I hate how it just says away and home here. Like, just put the fucking team name here so I don't have to look up here. I don't know, but yeah. The money is backing Sandlin, apparently. I don't know if I agree with that, though. But, you know, I do like pitchers that are making their major league debuts a lot of times because of the unfamiliarity. But his profile, you know, isn't great to me. So, I don't know. I'm staying away from the game. But I could definitely see, even though I said I like the over full game, this is one of those games where I actually would agree with an under in the first 5 as well. It's very rare that I would actually agree with opposite sides of something, first 5 versus total. Like, usually it's like I like one thing and then I would just avoid the other. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see the argument for the first 5 under here for sure, though, with both pitchers being unfamiliar. Yankees at Kansas City is on Amazon Prime. Kansas City got absolutely destroyed yesterday, 15-1. I told you I liked the Yankees run line in that one, but the Yankees have not been an offensive force really on the road, or maybe it's more so they've been a very good offensive team at home and not so much on the road, but they exploded yesterday. I don't really think they're going to do that again, but still. I think the Yankees still have an upper hand in this game too, though. Like, I would not try to play Kansas City here, even though Kansas City's trying to avoid a sweep here. These teams are not playing tomorrow. The Yankees are playing, who the fuck are they playing? I forget. Let me see. Yankees are playing the A's. I don't really think that's a look ahead to the A's. Although I think I mentioned that already, right? The A's are trying to avoid a sweep right now against Seattle, so the A's are not going to be looking ahead to the Yankees, but I don't think the Yankees are going to really look ahead to the A's either. But maybe Kansas City, you know, comes in with some firepower here, because when you lose 15-1 at home, you have an embarrassing loss at home. A lot of times you show up with more motivation, but how could I back Kansas City when I don't like their bullpen? They had 4 bullpen arms. One of them was Falter, who was actually the starter yesterday. But Kansas City still, their bullpen is a little bit used up right now. Their bullpen's not good. Yankees bullpen is better than that. The Yankees only use Yarbrough out of the bullpen as a long relief guy. So Schlittler obviously got them through a good portion of the game. Yankees have a pretty decent bullpen. They're at 12th. Their ERA is pretty good, and they're rested here, so they obviously have a bullpen edge. Royals are ranked dead last in WHIP, but their ERA is better enough that they're not as bad as Houston, Anaheim, They may very well be the third worst bullpen right now, though. They're a bad bullpen. Yankees are number 2 in offense right now. After that explosion yesterday, they moved up a little bit. The Royals 22nd, so the Yankees have the better hitting, and the Yankees have the better starter on the mound with Garrett Cole back. He made one start. He missed an entire season plus, came back from injury, and he pitched pretty well against Tampa Bay. He shut them out for 6 innings with 2 hits allowed. So it looks like Cole is somewhat back already, although the one concern, I guess, is he walked 3 guys and only had 2 strikeouts. So it looks like he wasn't exactly fooling hitters, but still, it's a pretty good sign. He had a good start there and was very efficient pitch-wise. 72 pitches in 6 innings, so Yankees have a really good starting pitching rotation, man. They're going to win the – I don't see how any other team could possibly win the American League this year, which pisses me off because then I'm going to need whoever wins the National League, probably the Dodgers, to beat the Yankees in another World Series. Cole, by the way, against the Royals has good numbers in 86 at-bats, 163 batting average, 382 OPS, 24-1 strikeout walk ratio. So obviously this looks like he is going to pitch well again here, most likely. Noah Cameron is pitching for Kansas City. He was good last year in what I think was his first season in the majors. This year he hasn't been as good, but he is pitching a little bit better again recently. But overall, 4.72 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. That's not good. He is better at home, though. 4.05 home ERA. And he's pitched a little bit better this month. He's got a 16-5 strikeout walk ratio here. 13 hits allowed in 16 innings, 3.38 ERA this month, although his team has lost all of his starts this month, and they've lost the majority of his starts this season. He pitched against the Yankees earlier this season in New York, and he got lit up. Some of it was the fielding behind him, but he allowed 5 earned runs in 4 innings. Gave up 3 long balls, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 7 hits. It wasn't a good start. So I don't know if this is the greatest matchup for Cameron here, man. But he did pitch well last time out against Seattle. He's made a couple of good starts in a row. He shut Seattle out for 6 innings here at Kauffman Stadium, not Jeremy Kauffman. But overall, his numbers against the Yankees are not good on 35 at-bats. It's not a huge sample, and a lot of it is that last start that he made against them, but it's some pretty bad stuff here. 286 average, 1,159 OPS, 8.4 strikeout walk ratio. There's nothing to really like there. And to me, it actually looks like the price is not even that expensive on the Yankees at minus 157. I know the situation favors Kansas City. Like, they should be looking to avoid the sweep here. I would not be able to do it. I think the matchup strongly supports the Yankees here. Yankees have 93% of tickets, but 97% of the cash. That's on the money line. But they're an extremely public side, though. But minus 157 on the money line doesn't seem that expensive to me. Like, it's the Yankees with Cole on the mound. You'd expect that line to be heavier than that. But then, the other thing is, though, if that's your thinking, obviously the public is going to think that same thing. It looks really easy to play the Yankees here. So when it looks too easy like that, that gives me a lot of pause. I can't really do it here. I do slightly lean to the Yankees here, though. Like, the matchup just seems like too much of a mismatch to me, so I cannot, there's no way I would want to play Kansas City here, even if the situation kind of supports it. Total in the game is at 9. That seems kind of crazy to me, too. We have all these crazy high totals in Kauffman Stadium, and I gave out the under in the first game of the series, first 5, and that was a winner. I don't know, man. I mean, 9 in a Garrett Cole game, Cole versus Cameron, yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I could see some arguments for an under in the first 5 here. The under is getting money. 45% of tickets, 62% of the cash on the under. If you like Cameron, I don't like his matchup numbers at all, but if you like him, which I kind of do generally, I could see some arguments for the first 5 under there. All right, I want to get through this, man. We're at an hour and a half, not even done with baseball. Houston at Texas. I was correct about Texas winning yesterday, although they had to do it in a 10-7 win. Way higher scoring than you would think. Probably the highest scoring game all season in Texas. 17 runs. Texas, like, their home games average like 6 runs a game total. 17, that's like 3 Texas games in one there. That's insane. Does that mean we want to go under here? Maybe. Texas still has played a lot of under types of games at home here, man. And Texas, they did finally end a losing streak. They lost 4 games in a row, so sometimes that will give a team new momentum here. I think Texas is the better of the two teams. Their pitching is obviously the huge advantage they have here. They used 3 relief pitchers yesterday. Houston used 1. Houston's bullpen starting to slide back. They're at 28th, but I think they're still the worst bullpen in baseball. Texas is ranked 7th, but they're good. They're one of the top bullpens, in my opinion. Houston has the better offense. They're 5th. Texas is 22nd, tied with the Royals in OPS. Starting pitching, it looks like a huge mismatch in favor of Texas when you just look at who's starting here. Burrows against DeGrom. Mike Burrows starting for Houston. Not good numbers here. 5.75 ERA. 1.53 whip. He's been a little bit better on the road, though. 4.75 road ERA. He's pitched, you know, I don't know. I would say he's been a little bit better this month. He's gone at least 5 2/3 innings in every start. One start, he got shelled by Seattle. But his other starts weren't that bad. Gave up 4 fewer earned runs than the other 3. Had a shutout for 7 innings against Cincinnati on the road in a hitter-friendly ballpark. His walks are still a concern. He walked 6 guys in his last 2 outings, along with 6 strikeouts, so that is definitely concerning. Over the course of the season, his strikeout rate's a bit low. His hit rate is too high, way over 1 per inning. He's allowed a decent amount of home runs, which is not good, and his walk rate is still too high. So overall, I still don't think I could trust Burrows here. Texas has not really seen much of him, though. They have 10 at-bats against him. 5 hitters have faced him. They have no extra base hits, 3 strikeouts, no walks, 200 average, 400 OPS. So Burrows, I mean, maybe he pitches well here. It is a more pitcher-friendly environment. He's got maybe a decent matchup here, at least. And, of course, I do expect DeGrom to pitch well here for Texas. He's been good, obviously, throughout his entire career, but he's still good right now. 3.86 ERA, 1.02 whip. He's been really good at home. His home road splits are insane. He's been really bad on the road and really good at home. 1.14 home ERA. Didn't do well last time out on the road. In fact, his last 2 outings, he gave up 6 home runs combined, all of it on the road. He's made 3 road starts this month, and that's basically why he hasn't pitched that well. His road starts, he's gotten knocked around, but he's also gotten kind of unlucky, allowing 8 home runs, even though I know he's a bit of a fly ball pitcher. But still, this month he has a 24-4 strikeout walk ratio and fewer than 1 hit per inning, 21 hits in 22 1/3 innings. So I think his 6.45 ERA this month is actually misleading. It's just the home runs have really skewed his numbers. And he's allowed 12 of them on the season. He's got to get that number back down. But the rest of his numbers are good. He's allowed fewer than 1 hit per inning. His walk rate's low. He's got a high strikeout rate. He's back where he pitches better in this pitcher-friendly stadium. And he's got good numbers against Houston in 81 at-bats. 29 strikeouts, 1 walk. That ratio is insane. 173 batting average, allowed 566 OPS. We're looking at some pretty dominant numbers here from DeGrom against Texas. So I think he pitches well here. I wouldn't disagree with the Texas side here. I think they have too much of a pitching edge here, and they just broke their losing streak. Texas looks like the money's coming in against them, though. 78% of tickets, 72% of the cash on them. They're at minus 160 something here, but I would still probably do maybe a split bet. Partially run line, partially money line. And the money is hitting Texas on the run line here. 63% of the tickets there and 86% of the cash. So like I said, professional bettors will find other ways to play a game. You know what I mean? So I could see a split bet Texas, money line, run line. I lean towards Texas here. The biggest money move or money indicator here is on the under here, though. Like I was kind of alluding to, it's a 7.5 total, which is really low. But, it's Texas, so usually a total like that is warranted in Texas. 28% of tickets, 56% of the cash on the under here. So 72% of the tickets are on the over and 44% of the cash. So that's a big, or 56% of the cash on the under, 44% of it on the over. So that's a big disparity there, man. So, yeah, I mean, under makes sense to me. I don't think I could really rely on Houston's bullpen here, though. Even though I might agree under full game, but Houston's pitching just overall doesn't look great to me here. But I think if you do go under, maybe Burrows with this kind of unfamiliarity here is good enough. First 5 under makes some sense to me there. Wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. It's probably 3.5, though. Then we have probably the heaviest favorite we've seen in baseball this year. Dodgers hosted Colorado. This series, I believe, might continue tomorrow, too. No, it does not. The Dodgers play Philly next, by the way, so maybe the Dodgers do start looking ahead to Philadelphia here. It looks like former Red Sox Kike Hernandez, don't mispronounce that one, got injured, it looks like here, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. The Dodgers have had some guys in and out of the lineup anyway, though it doesn't even really seem to matter. The Dodgers are on the verge of a sweep here. Maybe Colorado does show up with more effort here after losing 15-6 yesterday. Really, really crazy. Dodgers have some starting pitching injuries, but they have a good starting pitcher on the mound here today, though. So the pitching is a complete mismatch here. So I can't recommend coming in and playing Colorado here, even though they are trying to avoid the sweep. Colorado did only use one relief pitcher yesterday. The Dodgers also only used one. Dodgers are ranked 2 in bullpen here. They've had a really good bullpen this year. Colorado is 21st. Dodgers are number 1 in offense. Obviously, we know that. The Rockies are 21st, so the Dodgers have huge advantages in the bullpen and in hitting and in starting pitching. Sugano is pitching for Colorado here. Tomoyuki Sugano. He hasn't been that bad, though. 3.86 ERA, 1.23 whip. He's been pretty good on the road, 3.25 road ERA, which makes sense. He's better away from Coors Field here. He's actually pitched pretty well in his last 2 outings, both of them against Arizona. He allowed 2 runs apiece in each of them, 5+ innings in each one. But his strikeout rate is just extremely low. That's just how he pitches. His strikeout rate is really low. The rest of his numbers are not that bad, though. His walk rate is okay. His hit rate's below 1 per inning. So he doesn't put a lot of guys on base, but he doesn't strike guys out. Like, just does not blow people away. Numbers against the Dodgers are not good, though. In 33 at-bats, they've hit him around. 424 batting average, 1366 OPS, 6.2 strikeout walk ratio, so that's not good. His worst start of the season came in Coors Field against the Dodgers earlier this year. He went 4 innings, gave up 5 earned runs on 9 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. So he did not pitch well there. So I don't think Sugano is, my guess is he's not going to pitch that well here. And he's having to go up against Shohei Ohtani. So we have the Battle of Japan here, the Civil War. Ohtani has been excellent as a starter, though. 0.73 ERA, 0.84 whip. I mean, just ridiculous numbers here. He's allowed 4 earned runs total over the course of the season so far in 49 innings, way below 1 hit per inning allowed. His walk rate is, actually a little bit higher than what you'd think, but not that bad. His strikeout rate is over 1 per inning. Yeah, I mean, his numbers across the board are very, very good. He's still pitching well recently. He's had 2 straight shutout appearances recently, but it was against San Francisco and San Diego. Those offenses are not good, but Colorado's is not very good either, especially on the road. He's got 23 career at-bats against them, 174 batting average allowed, 556 OPS, 7-1 strikeout walk ratio. So he's done well against them in the past. They haven't faced him this year. He did not pitch in that other series at Coors Field. So Ohtani does have a matchup edge here. It's pretty clear. But do you want to lay more than minus 400 on the Dodgers here? They're minus 424. Yeah, you got to be kidding me, man. Dodgers on the money line have 93% of the tickets and 81% of the cash. there isn't even a run line listed here. I mean, some books probably do have a run line here. You're probably laying 3.5 runs with the Dodgers if you want to lay a run line here. I mean, this is unbelievable. Obviously, you cannot play the Dodgers on the money line here. I mean, if you want to go Dodgers over their team total or something, I guess have at it. The full game total is at 8, so it's low, but obviously a lot of that is because Ohtani is pitching here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I would want to do with this game. It seems like a huge mismatch for the Dodgers here. But then again, I mean, if you find a run line out there that's like plus 3.5 runs or something, or maybe you could look run line first 5 if you really think maybe Sugano can hang enough in the first 5 innings here to not have his team being blown out early in the game, and maybe that's the move. I don't know. I mean, it is not a great spot for the Dodgers, at least, but this is one of those games that's almost impossible to find a way to attack it. I probably wouldn't disagree with the Dodgers to go over their team total, but that almost seems too obvious, especially after they put up way too many runs last night. So that's all I got for baseball there. One play in baseball, and then I am going to give out a WNBA play right now, if I can figure out how this website works. There's no NHL or NBA today because the other NBA series, the Eastern Conference, ended. And you'd think that the Eastern Conference NHL game would be today, but it's not. It's tomorrow, because they get an extra day off and they're changing venues, so whatever. We have 5 WNBA games to dissect. I got one play here, and it is definitely ugly. We have a USA Network doubleheader here. I'm going to close some of these baseball tabs here. You probably saw what my play is, but whatever. Phoenix at the Liberty is the first game here. Phoenix at New York. New York lost their last game at home to Portland as a big home favorite. They lost by 7. That's bad, dude. So normally I'm going to say that, yeah, when a team loses at home as a big favorite, you got to expect they're going to bounce back. They've lost 3 straight home games, dude. Favored in all of them. They're not as bad as their record makes them look. So you got to think you're going to get an effort out of New York here, that they're going to start playing better here. But if you dig into that box score against Portland, it wasn't really that misleading, which definitely worries me. Like, Portland out-rebounded the Liberty. The Liberty had way more free throw attempts and hit most of them. So this was not that misleading of a final. Although Portland did have way more field goal attempts in the game. So they had more possessions. So there was kind of a turnover disparity there and whatever. So maybe that will be something that kind of regresses in favor of the Liberty here. Phoenix coming in off of losing 3 straight games. So they had a tough game, a close game against an Atlanta team that is a pretty good defense. Atlanta is playing pretty well right now. So I don't really think I want Phoenix here. I think the money is indicating on Phoenix, but I would somewhat lean towards laying it with the Liberty. I know the Liberty have not done much here. The Liberty, by the way, we did lay the points with them back against Portland in that second game out of the 3 that they played against Portland. And that was the only one of them that they won. We got that right. But yeah, the Liberty, I don't know, man. They seem to just not be living up to their potential right now. As far as the spread here, I'm looking at the spread is obviously in the middle here. The Liberty, the money's coming in against them. 53% of tickets, 52% of the cash on them. They're a 5.5 point favorite here, but I think I would lay the points with the Liberty. I think that's the way I would lean. The line is coming down on them, though, but that's the way I would lean in that game. Toronto at Chicago, I don't have a good feel for this one. Chicago has lost 2 games in a row at home, but they're coming off a pretty tough game where they were playing Minnesota pretty close. Minnesota's still a good team, man. I mean, they were the regular season champions last year. I know Collier is still injured for them right now, but Minnesota's been good. So that was a tough game for Chicago. They were within like 6 points with a couple of minutes to go in that game. Lost by 10, and they have Minnesota again next. So they're in kind of a Minnesota sandwich here. A Lynx sandwich. I don't know what that would be. I guess you're eating Lynx meat, I guess. That doesn't sound like it would be good. Very gamey. Jackson Dart probably hunts them, actually. Everybody's flipping out because people are pointing out that Jackson Dart picture where he had hunted that mountain lion or whatever and then used it to troll the Penn State Nittany Lions back when he was in college. People are overreacting to everything, man. It's like, whatever. Anyway, yeah, Chicago's playing Toronto here, but I think it's a little bit of a tough spot for Chicago because it is sandwiched in between two games against Minnesota. They played fairly tough against Minnesota last time out. Toronto just lost pretty badly at home against Portland, so maybe it would be good for them to just go out on the road. It's not a huge travel spot to go from Toronto to Chicago. They just got blown out by Minnesota, by the way, so people might look and say, oh, well, Chicago beat Minnesota once, and then they only lost them by 10 last time. Toronto lost to Minnesota by almost 30 points, right? Well, yeah, we already know Chicago's the better team. That's why they're favored here. That's factored into the line here. Chicago's a 5.5-point favorite. Looks like we have 56% of tickets and 60% of the cash on the underdog here on Toronto. I agree with that one. I would lean slightly towards taking the points with Toronto, but I do not want it. Atlanta and Minnesota is the best game of the night here. Both these teams are definitely, what's the word I'm looking for here? They're contenders, I would say. Potential contenders here. Even though I know I didn't like the move for Atlanta to get Angel Reese, but whatever. She kind of fits into their defensive style. Both these teams play good defense, by the way. Minnesota, coming off that win that I just mentioned against Chicago. They're not going to overlook Atlanta, though, because their first game of the season, they lost at home in this same place. They lost by 1 to Atlanta, first game of the season. I believe Atlanta was like a 5-point favorite, I want to say, in that game. So I said I thought Minnesota would cover, and they did. But maybe Minnesota still, got their eye on a little bit of in-season revenge here because they did lose that game. Minnesota might have actually even looked past them a little. I don't know. Well, Minnesota played well, so I don't think they looked past them. But Minnesota had a big playoff revenge game against Phoenix the next game because I'm pretty sure Phoenix was the team that eliminated Minnesota from the playoffs last year. And some of it was because Minnesota had injuries. But whatever. Minnesota's won 2 straight games here. They're playing decent right now. They're not going to overlook Atlanta. That would be my opinion. They're only returning from a 1-game road trip to Chicago, so that's not a big deal. I think Atlanta's going to show up too, though. I know Atlanta did just win against Phoenix at home, but Atlanta was a bigger favorite than that, and they almost lost. So I think Atlanta might have been looking ahead to Minnesota here. They just got by Phoenix, so I think you're going to get focus out of Atlanta here as well. It seems like it's an under game if you're going to get both teams showing up with focus here. The last time these teams played, they got into the 180s. You saw that. It was 91-90, which is interesting because it was the first game of the season. You'd think offenses would be out of rhythm, but this totals at 165.5. It's that low for a reason, dude. So I actually would probably lean under. I don't do anything with WNBA totals, but an under seems to make sense to me here. Like, why would this total be in the 160s if these teams scored in the 180s the last time they played each other, right? 75% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on the over. So the money's indicating towards the under. I agree with that. And then as far as the spread is concerned, the money's come in a little bit towards the road favorite here, which is Atlanta. They're a 2.5-point favorite. And like I said, they were actually like a 4-point favorite the other time these teams played each other. But I told you, I thought that line was a little bit too high. So I think 2.5 is about correct. If Collier was back, you got to think Minnesota would be a favorite here, though. 2.5 is the line on Atlanta right now. 52% of tickets, 57% of the cash on Atlanta. I don't have a good read on the side at all. I think an under makes some sense in that game, though. NHL is not playing tonight. I think tomorrow is the next game. I can make sure of that right now. I'm pretty sure, though. Yeah, Wednesday. No, wait. Today is Wednesday. Oh, my mistake. We do have an NHL game. Well, I guess I'm going to handicap that on the fly. I haven't even handicapped it yet. I apologize. You're right. I don't know why I was thinking it got moved to tomorrow, but you're right. All right, I will handicap that. Gerald, thank you. You saved me. I was going to talk about NHL last anyway, because I talk about WNBA before that, because nobody cares. But I have a play in this next game, which is a really ugly game. Connecticut at Portland, but I like the spot here for a number of reasons. So we're going to go back to our friends here with the Connecticut Sun. The only game that they won this year was the game I gave out a play on them. We're going to go back to them, but this time we don't need them to win. They're plus 6.5, although I know every underdog I've given out in the WNBA this season so far has won outright, including like 8, 9-point underdogs, whatever. I'm not saying they're necessarily going to do that, although I think they have a chance to do that. We have a pretty low total here, although it's not as low as this horrible Washington-Seattle game. But there are a lot of things I like about this game here, man. Portland's returning home from the road, so right away, that has me looking to fade them because they're returning home from a road trip. They've been on the road for a week. They went to Indiana, Toronto, New York. They had a successful road trip, won the last 2 games, and in that last game, they upset New York on Monday as a big underdog. So we have 2 things coming into play here that are fade spots for Portland here. One is the return home spot, and they're traveling cross country as well. So they're gonna have to adjust to the time zone again and play a late night game. So that's another negative on top of all that. They have to adjust to playing late on their biological clock again. So a ton of bad things here for Portland. Letdown spot after a big upset win. Return home spot tends to be a bit of a distraction spot. And maybe they don't take Connecticut totally seriously because they did beat Connecticut the last time they're in this arena, but they only beat them by 1. I know, but they did beat them. So I think there are just a lot of indicators that this is not a good, I mean, we know it's not a good spot for Portland here. And they do play Atlanta next. That's a fairly big game. And then Indiana, Golden State after that. Those are all pretty good teams, so I think it might be a sandwich spot here as well. So there are a lot of negatives here. They might be looking ahead to that game. This game's not a TV game, so they may not be looking at it. And then if we dig into this box score here, what happened in this first game? Well, first of all, Connecticut, I think part of the reason they lost that first game against Portland, that was their first road game of the season. So Connecticut it was their second. They played at New York, but that was their first game away from the Eastern time zone. And I talked about this when I gave out Connecticut as a play in the next game. I said, well, now they're adjusted to the time zone, so they're better off now playing Seattle because they had just played in Portland, so they were adjusted to the time zone. And in that game, guess what? Seattle was returning home from a road trip. So there were and Seattle had beaten Connecticut during the road trip. So there are a lot of similarities between these 2 spots here that I'm giving out Connecticut here. But yeah, in this spot here, though, yeah, so in that spot, like I said, Connecticut, I think they just, they were in an unfamiliar venue, too, and that won't be the case now. So remember, Portland is an expansion team, so I think the first time the teams go to play in that venue, they're unfamiliar with it, so it's a little bit of an extra disadvantage to them. But now Connecticut just played there, so they've already played in this arena once, so they know what it's like. They know Portland now, because that's the other thing. Even though Portland has to gain chemistry and whatever, when you're a team playing against them, you've never seen them before, this expansion team, so you don't really know what they're going to throw at you. You know what I mean? So that's also a little bit of a disadvantage as well. But now Connecticut has played in their arena before. They've seen them before. And Connecticut's still on that same road trip. So I know towards the end of the road trip, you can get a little bit tired, but if you look at what they've done on the road trip, they've only won 1 game, so I think they are going to be focused here. They're coming off a blowout loss at Golden State. Golden State's a pretty good team. I think Connecticut will show up with motivation here. And obviously the travel spot is better because they're only going from the Bay Area up to Portland here. So obviously it's a better travel spot here. They're still on the Pacific Coast. They're still in the Pacific time zone. Portland's having to come all the way back, so that's another positive. I think a lot of positives for Connecticut here. Then the other thing we want to look at is what happened in that previous matchup between these 2 teams. Was there something that was an outlier here? Portland only won the game by 1. Also, by the way, Portland was a 3.5-point favorite. Now they're 6.5. What? I mean, I know odds makers have to adjust based on, this team might be better than we thought they were. But you're telling me that these teams just played 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. Same venue. Portland was 3.5, and now they're laying 6.5. Come on, man. Even if there's an injury, which I don't know, I don't pay attention to the personnel, but that's ridiculous to me that the line would be 3 points higher. So I think there's some line value on Connecticut as well. Also, if you dig into this box score here, Connecticut won the rebound battle, so they were better in some ways. They were winning 60% of the game, so Connecticut could have won the game. They had control of a lot of the game here outright. Shooting-wise, yeah, Connecticut did shoot pretty well, I know, but actually Portland didn't shoot too badly either, so that wasn't a huge disparity. The three-point shooting was basically the same. The other big disparity, though, was Portland was +9 in free throw makes. Connecticut only shot 55% from the free throw line. You know there's got to be some regression there. Like, that's abnormally low free throw percentage, free throw shooting. So I think Connecticut does, there are some indicators here that Connecticut, that this was a bit of a misleading final. Like, Connecticut missed a ton of their free throws, and if that wasn't the case, they could have won the game. Connecticut was leading for a huge chunk in the middle of the game. And in fact, they were leading by 6 points in the middle of the third, and they were leading for a decent chunk of the fourth quarter, too. And we only need them to come within 6.5 here. And by the way, in this previous game, they were never even losing by that margin this entire game. Portland's largest lead in the game was 4 points right here in the second quarter. So, so Connecticut, on a 6.5 line, this would have been a wire-to-wire cover for them. So we're going to take Connecticut plus the points here in this one. The money, what are we looking at here? The money does not seem to agree right now. We have 80% of tickets, 85% of the cash on the favorite here on Portland, but I don't care, dude. Portland, I don't know, as an expansion team, should they really be laying a price like this, even against, I know Connecticut's probably the worst team in the league, or probably, definitely, I think they are, but even so, I don't even know if Portland should be laying this many points against anybody, so Connecticut plus the points is the play for all those reasons. I think it's a pretty strong play there, and then we have Washington and Seattle. Seattle, these two teams just played each other, and Seattle won by 12. So immediately my thought would be, well, zigzag, right? Because you had Seattle winning by 12, and Washington was a favorite in this game. Washington was, in fact, a 4.5-point favorite in this game, and now they're a little bit lower here today. They're a 3.5-point favorite. Why? Just because Seattle won this game? I don't know. But if you look, there were some outliers here. The real outlier was the three-point shooting. This is ridiculous. Both teams, by the way, went to the line a ton. And both teams shot really well from the free throw line. But that is a ton of free throws in that game. That's crazy. So, excuse me. I think there might be some indicators maybe towards an under in this game as well. But Washington did not shoot well in the game, really. The big outlier, though, was Seattle shot 46% from three. They hit 13 threes compared to Washington 4 threes. So Seattle was plus 27 from three-point range. Come on, man. And they won by 12. So obviously that three-point shooting outlier was the entire difference in the game and more. So you got to think there's going to be some regression there from the three-point line. So obviously, I'm leaning towards Washington in this game here. It's not on my card. Seattle, the rebound battle was close. Seattle did lead a lot of the game, but then again, it was because the three-point shooting was such a ridiculous outlier there. I'm going to lean to Washington here. You're laying a little bit of a lesser price this time. They're, let me see, where are we at here? They were laying 4.5 in that other game. They're laying 3.5 here. They're getting the money. 48% of tickets, 72% of the cash on Washington. So the money's coming in on Washington on the zigzag. The money is also hitting the over for what that's worth. The total's really low, 158.5, which when a total's that low, usually it means that the odds makers are telling you that you want to play the under because they think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Oh, yeah, that's right. I said there should be some indicators towards the under. That's right. So, yeah, I agree with the under in this game. Yeah, and the odds makers are telling you it should be a low-scoring game. And you look at that last game, well, they scored 182 points in this game, man, or whatever this was. What are we talking about here? And this total's in the 150s, right around where it was in that game, in the 150s. Yeah, but like I just said, there was a huge three-point outlier here with Seattle's three-point shooting, and both teams had a ton of free throws. Each team had more than 30 free throw makes. That's not going to happen again here. So I do like the under in this game as well. But, none of that's on my card. But the money's slightly indicating on the over in that game. 77% of tickets, 81% of the cash. I don't agree with that. I like the under. And probably stronger, I like laying the points with Washington. But my one play is Connecticut in the WNBA, plus the 6.5 there. All right. I'm going to be pissed if my play loses, and then I was right about everything in the Washington-Seattle game. All right, yes, we do have NHL. I apologize. Let me bring that up here as well. Okay, yeah, so Carolina, Montreal, we're back. We're still in Montreal. Carolina won the last 2 games of the series in overtime, but Carolina absolutely dominated those games, dude. Montreal had like 24 total shots in the last 2 games. Somehow, Carolina only won each of the last 2 games 3-2, but look at the box scores, dude. On game 2, Carolina 26-12 in shots, and they had 30 more hits as well. In game 3, where I gave out a play on Carolina in this game, Carolina had 39 shots and Montreal had 13, and Carolina won the face-off battle and won the hit battle as well. Montreal, so my mistake, Montreal has 25 shots total in the last 2 games. And remember, this is a Montreal team that had 1 game in the game 7 in the Tampa series. They had 9 shots in the whole game and had none in the entire second period. This Montreal team is not that good, dude. Like, just offensively, they're not getting offensive possessions, at least against these better teams like Carolina and Tampa Bay. It seems like Montreal cannot match up completely against them. I know they're playing a lot of close games still, though. But the indicators are that Carolina should have won those last 2 games both way more easily than they did. Montreal had 1 period in this game where they only had 1 shot. I think it might have been the 3rd period. Montreal only had 1 shot. It's just crazy, dude. So does that mean I lean Carolina here? I think I do. Montreal has also not been good at home during the playoffs. Carolina's 5-0 on the road during the playoffs. I believe Montreal is now something like 2-5 at home during the playoffs. So that's not good. So the home road splits during the playoffs favor Carolina. In the last 2 games, Carolina was way more dominant than it looks. Carolina's the more experienced team. They're used to this. They're a good overtime team as well. I mean, you got to think back-to-back overtime losses for the underdog Montreal. That's got to, those are, gut-wrenching losses. Sometimes it's really hard to get back up off the mat after that. Almost pulling off a win 2 games in a row. And the public might look at this and think, well, I like Montreal. I want Montreal to even the series here, but I kind of see it differently. I think I would lean Carolina again on the money line here, but this is not a play for me. Carolina minus 142 now, but 54% of the tickets, 46% of the cash on Carolina. So the money is indicating a little bit towards Montreal. I would lean Carolina, though. And then the money's coming in on the over a little bit. The total's 5.5. I don't know, man. I mean, the last 2 games have gone under. Montreal is just not putting up numbers that make it look like they should be scoring a lot of goals. I know they put up a ton in that first game, but remember, Carolina was rusty. And once Anderson, got his legs under him again, he's been very good in net since then, although he hasn't had to defend against that many shots, but he's still been pretty good. I don't know if I would agree with an over here. Not that I necessarily like an under either, but both of these last 2 games were pretty low scoring, and they both went into overtime as well. So I don't have a good feel for the total, but those are my thoughts on that game. So thank you, Gerald, for pointing out that there is a hockey game here. That's going to do it. My 2 plays are under first 5 in Anaheim and Detroit in baseball. Hopefully you can get under 4 there. And then the other play is the Connecticut Sun plus the points in the WNBA. That's going to do it. I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Learn to Toad on Twitter. Learn to Toad on Instagram. Twitter, you can support me there if you want to. Like and subscribe to the channel here, of course. Get the word around, man. I mean, this 143-5 run now of the last 53 days, it's a strong run, baby. And none of those plays were a favorite of any more than about minus 140 or so. So, you know me. Moneyline, we have a lot of moneyline sports here, but I will not go with a money line on a favorite that's 150 or above, or 150 or stronger. You know what I mean? So all of these are basically pick 'em prices. So there you go with that. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, tell everybody about it. Like, subscribe, listen on audio, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. It all helps me out. Starting to get a headache here, man. Might need to eat lunch or something. Maybe I need to hydrate. But yeah, it helps me out listening on audio as well. I got to get everything up on the audio stuff. Covered in Uke is my Uke channel on YouTube. I put up my most recent cover up there. Patreon.com if you want to support me that way. /LearnToToad. Where you get a Uke feed. I got to get it back up to date again. I think there are a few recent ones I haven't put up there yet, so I know I have to do that still. And I got to get to the requests that are out there as well, at least some of them. So I'm going to try to do that. That's what you get with the Patreon right now. Loser cast was new last night. I think I was back to nominating an actual good loser this time, so you can go check that show out. And there was one thing that she did that I forgot to mention, which I will try to remember to mention on next week's show, that I thought might lead to a joke or two. But check that out. And then Giants G-Spot podcast. I think we will do an episode at some point this week. That's going to do it for now. The Belmont Stakes, I believe, is coming up soon, too. I know my horse racing has been bad. I know. I apologize. Let me see. When's the Belmont Stakes? Is it coming up this Saturday? Or is it? It might be next Saturday. Hang on. It is June, whichever Saturday is between June 3rd and 7th. So that would be. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense, right? Oh no, it does. It'll be June 6th. It looks like. Yeah. So it's not this weekend, it's next weekend. So I'll have some Belmont Stakes stuff just so I talk about it. And you can make fun of the horses' names, and I'm a horse's ass, but I don't know enough about horses, man. I go with listening to people analyzing it and whatever. So that's gonna do it for now. Hopefully we get some wins today. Very selective card today. Peace.
But don't you go quiet, don't you fade from the floor. Your name still means something to somebody for sure. Put the glass down, baby. Look at me now.